Pokemon Go. Brendan is here as one of our Wiki's correspondents, one of the guys in the trenches who every day is walking the extra mile to try and find that Pokemon for you. And so he ain't kidding, kids. So tell me then, so you brought us 5 tips for the Pokemon Go player. So if you're listening to this podcast and you happen to be taking a walk,
oh yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, there are hundreds of tips. We're compiling. I think by the time this comes out, there will be a giant best Pokemon Go tips page, which you check out for all of them. But I grabbed the ones that I like the most, the ones that have resonated with me. The first one being that you can't catch all the Pokemon, all 150. There's a couple ones that haven't been in the game yet. The legendary birds, obviously, Mewtwo. But there are also some that might be harder to catch because they're region specific. Yeah, people have found that Tauros only appears in the wild in North Americas and Canada. And Farfetch'd only appears in Asia. Mr. Mime only appears in Europe. And I think...
Wow.
Just those 4.
But somebody did it, right?
Yeah,
somebody got them all.
You can hatch them too, but that's the thing. I think Mr. Mime might be in a 10-kilometer egg. The rest of them are in 5-kilometer eggs, and it's a very big pool of Pokemon. But if you want to find those and don't want to get a plane ticket, you have to hatch eggs and get lucky.
Wow.
Kangaskhan appears in Australia and New Zealand. So when we go...
Man, that is brilliant and terribly mean, don't you think?
I agree.
I also hope trading comes in soon for that thing. But
I like that concept, though, if you could trade. I mean, back to Animal Crossing, right? Like, if you had different fruit, we needed to trade, right?
Different furniture,
I love that concept. Like, if you had to trade with an Australian to get really Kangaskhan, they really made the... marsupials Pokemon, why not? That's a little on the nose, right?
Mimes are always in Europe.
Mr. Mime is from France, that's right.
Well, that makes sense. No, Taurus the bull. I mean, is that Americans are stubborn? Like, what's the
bison.
Deal? Huh? Oh, I guess that's true too.
The buffalo.
I thought Stinky maybe or something. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Sorry, just as an aside, talking about Pokemon that are in the game, no one's caught a shiny, right?
No one's caught. There was a Photoshop attempt. It was a bad Photoshop attempt. Also, Ditto is not in the game yet.
No one's found it.
You don't know.
Because he could be masquerading
any Pokemon.
I would love to see a Pokemon shop that just has like a blank face.
What?
You have to catch it.
Ditto is among us. You just don't know.
But yeah,
Ditto may be a Pokestop.
They have his file. Like, you can see his silhouette in the Pokedex, but no one has caught him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. He's right there.
I really hope so.
You probably already sent him away and converted him to candy.
He was that Weedle you threw out.
Yeah, you got pink candy from him.
Yeah, it's probably half the Pidgeys you've caught were accidentally Dittos. What else you got?
So this is something that I've noticed in San Francisco, but you can replicate it elsewhere, but it will probably take a little more effort. It's like a Pokemon farming simulator. Last weekend I went over to where the beach is, and there is a very odd little scenario where there are a bunch of Pokestops that have lures going like 24/7, and there are hundreds of people there day and night in front of this Ocean Beach Chalet restaurant. And it's a wonder to behold. And so I started thinking about how can you replicate this? And this is something that really you need to look around for. You can make it yourself, but it takes effort, and it probably takes money if you do it by yourself. Yep. So probably gonna get some friends.
It's probably gonna take $6.
$6. So the thing to keep in mind is that to make your ideal farming simulator, you need to find several Pokestops in a very close proximity, like maybe 3 to 5. And
if you have a stadium or something like sports stadiums seem to have a lot around them.
Big parks with sculptures and murals or signs. I think you can even check Niantic's last app, Ingress. It kind of like tells you.
Yeah, you can use it to scout Pokestops.
So you can kind of look around your area, like where do you see big things popping up, then go check them out yourself. And then if you do find this wonderful area that has like maybe like within walking like a 10 feet distance, then you and hopefully your friends just pop down lures on all the things.
Sorry. Just give me this. Keep going.
I'm glad you're not seeing this if you're listening to audio.
If you're watching the video version, you saw what just happened.
I think I saw the edge of a tattoo.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Keep going.
Right. So when you have these lures on all 4 or 5 spots, you have basically an infinite spawning Pokemon generator where hopefully if you have a good location, like this one was by a park and an ocean, so you have like, grass Pokemon and water Pokemon. And for some reason, there was like Magnemites and Voltorbs here showing up at the lures.
Just because of the 3 lures.
Yeah, and so half of it is this Pokemon spawning generator you have. The other half is because you have so many Pokestops, you're constantly refreshing your Pokeball supply so you don't run out. So you just do like a little walk in circles.
Yeah,
and keep going for hours.
So you went to Beach Chalet this weekend.
Yes.
Hundreds of people.
Yes.
Out there.
And it was just
were you afraid for your life at any point?
People were so nice. I feel bad for the restaurant owners.
Yeah.
Like they had to have a security guard in the parking lot going, are you parking here for food or are you parking for Pokemon? Get out, please.
You're kidding.
No. Really? It's a very small parking situation.
It is a very small parking situation at Beach Chalet.
But then they kind of got in on the fad.
It's also a snooty part of the town. But anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
True. But then they realized if you can't beat them, open a snack stop. And outside the restaurant, there's a little snack bar with hot dogs and hot cocoa.
Okay.
So another fun thing is, if you see one of these Pokemon farming places in action, bring some food.
Okay.
Make some money.
And sell some. Yeah.
I've seen the Pokemon Go lemonade stand. That's cute.
Another quick thing that I noticed is a small tip for if you're catching Pokemon on the go and you're tired of waiting for that Zubat that's hard to catch or the wheel you've caught 20 of. I've noticed that after you encounter the Pokemon, it says you encounter a wild whatever, and then it does a little thing, and it starts to zoom out. At the moment it starts to zoom out, you can toss a Pokeball. And you can get them extremely quickly that way if they're a low enough level. So like a Zubat can be really annoying because they kind of go back all the way, and you're just like, I'm flinging like 100.
Or every time they get out of the ball, they get further away. I've noticed. I'm just like, wait, what?
You encounter a Zubat, the second the camera starts to pan back, you flick it out.
So upon it appearing.
It appears.
You have a small window in between when it appears
a small window, and then
away.
the camera starts panning back.
And if you're not playing with AR on, which I hope you said
that's a big thing.
Play with AR off if you plan to walk and catch. Just putting that out there.
So that's been really helpful for me over the past couple of days. I see a Pidgey, bam, done. Like don't have to worry about like trying to catch it. If they're higher level, they might break out, but at least you have that first quick catch opportunity.
I always get really burned when I'm like level 22 and a 72 CP Pidgey just bounces on the first throw. He's just like, I'm out.
I caught like
how can you get away? I am superior.
I caught
like how is this possible?
Balls are bad.
I caught a CP 800 Nidorina first try, regular Pokeball, and then a 10 CP Weedle. It's like, nope, I'm out. I'm like, get in there.
Yeah, it's always painful. Yesterday,
you guys have problems. Level 22.
Whatever.
I couldn't load the thing for 2 days.
Yeah,
it would not open for me. It would hang on the status bar.
Speaking of Weedles, my next big tip. Hopefully, you've heard about it. It's called the Pidgey exploit, but it could be used for other Pokemon. This is using the lucky egg, which you get a couple times when you level up, usually like 10, 15, 20. You can buy them too, but they double your experience for half an hour. And the best way I found to make use of that is to go on a mass evolution trail when you activate that.
All right, Darwin.
Yeah, I know. This is how it works. Cool. So you basically need to find as many Pokemon as you can that evolve quickly, which are Pidgeys, Weedles, and Caterpies all take 12 candy per one.
Yeah, that's right.
You can use other ones. I usually get a bunch of Zubats as well.
And you can't help but get a lot of Zubats.
Yeah, exactly. And so every evolution you do gives you 500 experience. If you use the lucky egg, that's 1,000. If you also evolve into a new Pokemon that you haven't encountered before, that's an additional 500, which is a different 1,000, which gives you 2,000 experience for evolving a new Pokemon with the lucky egg.
Nice.
And so if you have like 20 Pidgeys, you can make thousands of experience really fast.
Look at you, yeah.
Yeah, that's been like how I've gotten some levels. And as you get past 20, that's what you need to survive.
Then the good days are over because after level 20, every additional level jumps by 25k XP. So to get to level 23, I have to get 100k XP, and it's going to jump up again when I hit 23.
Starts to get frightening, and
it gets scary.
You know what?
It can't be done as quickly.
It's necessary because, like, unlike
slow down progression.
Unlike a lot of mobile games, this one there's skin in the game here, and that gyms get really tough to kind of beat and combat at when you're a new player, right? And so it's not that. Like think back to like Candy Crush or any of these games that are very friendly for new players. Yep. This is not that friendly, and so if it doesn't slow you guys down at one point, new players are just not going to be able to come in.
No, I think that's 100% fair.
Yeah.
It kind of follows like an MMO progression, where the higher character levels, the longer it's going to get. So someone who's level like 40 will be going a lot slower than someone can catch up.
So you're saying this is the Barons of Pokemon?
Yes.
You played World of Warcraft?
Yes,
you remember
I have.
The Barons?
Barons chat is.
Those were the days. You were there forever.
Barrens and Wetlands. Yeah. That was. You played World of Warcraft?
A little bit, yeah. Won't say much more about that.
I'm glad we survived.
Yeah, we did. Now we're stuck
he's got
in
many secrets.
Yeah, no, we're a whole new
Now we're stuck in
World of
Pokemon
Warcraft.
Go.
So the last tip is a quick tip, but one that I didn't realize until someone on Reddit, I think, pointed it out. What they data mined the game, and they realized that incense is quicker if you're moving. So incense, you put it around you, and Pokemon will come to you that are independent of the ones in the area.
We'll track them.
And I've been doing it in the office or at home, and you get like one every 5 minutes. If you're actually walking around and it tracks that, they spawn much faster, like a minute. So you can use that with your Pokemon farming while you're going between Pokestops to get lure Pokemon, incense Pokemon, and then wild Pokemon. And that would really increases your output.
Okay.
Man,
yeah, and if you can't get lures or if you can't get incense, as you level in the game, specifically when you hit the 10 increments, they seem to give you some as a sort of a reward. So like
Basically
at level
every
20,
5 levels.
Yeah, at level 20, I got 2 incubators, 2 incense, 2 lures.
Yeah.
I was like, or XP eggs sometimes get work in there too. Yeah.
So I actually haven't bought anything. I've been exclusively getting those rewards and then using those to power up my levels.
Okay.
And then also, if you really don't want to buy, last kind of tip, if you really don't want to buy anything in the apps, you can get Pokecoins by putting your Pokemon in a gym. Once you do that, you go to the shop. In the top right corner, there's a little shield icon. You tap it, and you get 10 Pokecoins per Pokemon you have in the gym at that time. And then it gives you a counter for like 21 hours, which you can do it again after that 20-hour limit.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, the game doesn't explain a lot of that
Just being our
stuff. So
biggest
yeah, it's
boon.
helpful to have.
It's also the biggest wiki in IGN history, apparently,
Yes.
right? In the
Yeah.
history of the site, this is
Well,
the
no,
top performing.
no. In a 1 day period.
In a 1 day period, not
Yeah,
historically.
No, like look, Grand Theft Auto. The Grand Theft Auto games are insane. People look for content for years.
Yeah,
or
to
Elder
this day,
Scrolls,
GTA
Fallout.
5 is still...
But yeah, Pokemon had a 1 day record for us. Pokemon
Yeah.
Go, yeah, definitely very popular.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So really quick shout out mention is that IGN has started a dedicated Pokemon show.
Yeah.
It's called
What?
IGN's Pokemon Secret Base. It is a show hosted by the talented Callie Pleggy, and you should check that show out because they do take some time to discuss this week's Pokemon Sun and Moon announcements, specifically what's going on with Global Link, what's going on with battling and friendly competitions. So we're not going to talk about that on this week's show. Instead, I want to point you to that show, which should be coming out relatively soon. I don't have a release date yet, but I can say that we recorded the episode yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully you will enjoy it, and we definitely want to bring you more content across every Pokemon experience, not just Go.